Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to my Gig-Olos and Gig-Olettes. It's me, Gio. Y'all know who the fuck it is. All right, I finished my first Amazon block of the day. It was a Whole Foods. Probably one of the better Whole Foods experience I've had so far in terms of like that wasn't an instant offer. Because yesterday I kind of got screwed. I drove 30 minutes and 20 something miles to a Whole Foods, and I get there, I had one stop. So that sucked. So on this one, I had 10 stops. So the tip revenue should be a little bit higher on this one. The one I just finished, at least. So as I turn on DoorDash for a little bit, and I think I'm gonna eat miles into the city. That's where delivery's a little bit better. So as I parked, had my breakfast cigarette, to my left there was like a 1991, 1992 Plymouth Voyager, and I couldn't help but smile because one, that car is 30 years old, or that minivan is 30 years old now, and it's still on the road. And I remember I was sitting next to it, and the owner of the car came out. He had it was like an elderly, he was like older black dude. He's probably in his 60s, 70s, with 2 cups of coffee. And he got in the car, and the car started right up, and it drove off. And I'm like, car sounded decent, sounded like it was in good shape. So I remember I had it was a 1990 Plymouth Voyager, and this was in 2004, maybe? And this is like my first car. And it was a 1990 Plymouth Voyager. It was a light blue with like some, what appeared to be like racing stripes on the side. And on the driver's side door, I'm getting nostalgic. That car was such a piece of shit. My dad got it for me, and it was, I remember it had like 197,000 miles on it or something like that, maybe 212, somewhere around there, somewhere between 190 and 212. None of the gauges worked on it. I never knew how much gas I had. I never knew how fast I was going. The upholstery was held together by thumbtacks. It was so ratty. There was like ponchos over the seats because the seats were so worn down. Every tire was different. It was a different manufacturer in each tire. And the funniest part about it was the driver's side door. I was instructed to not open or close it because the latch on it was not working well, because the door belonged to a 1990 or something Dodge Caravan. So Dodge Caravans and Plymouth Voyagers were pretty much the same fucking car, just different manufacturer. Pretty much the same car, not exactly the same car, because of the fact that, like, if I did accidentally open the driver's side door, if I didn't have a screwdriver with me, I would have to, no joke, I'm not even making this up, to drive this thing securely down the street, I would have to take the seatbelt, hook it into like the armrest thing of it, and then buckle it in, and that would be the only way the door would like semi-stay closed. It was such a hunk of shit. Like, I remember the first day I had it, okay, it needs gas. The latch to release the fuel door to put in gas didn't work. I'm like, I remember too, and you know how I said the gauges didn't work? If you turn it, with that car, to turn a light on, there was like a little, it's like a little thing you had to pull out, right? And as soon as you pulled it out, the fuel gauge, wherever it was, because like it skipped, the fuel gauge would go from like, let's say I just filled up that morning. By the afternoon, it would show near empty, right? But I didn't ever know how much fuel I had. But if I pulled the thing to turn the lights on, the fuel gauge would go all the way past. It would go like, the needle would go as far as it could. It was like 3 lengths past full. It was such a hunk of shit car. And it drove like shit. It was loud. It sounded like crap. It was, I mean, the definition of a beater car. I mean, like, it was horrible. I remember I was a fucking dumbass. My parents told me, don't drive it too much. You know, it's not meant to, because that's back when I worked at UPS. And they said, don't drive it too much. You know, just drive it to work and back home or hang out with your friends or whatever. And my dumbass, I remember we had a wrestling show somewhere in Indiana. And it was like an hour and 30 minutes southeast of where I trained. So it was like 2 hours from home, at least 2 hours from home. My dumbass took the minivan on this road trip. Never knew how fast I was going. Never knew the temperature of the engine. I think that car was on the road for all of, I want to say it was only drivable for like 5 months. I probably put all of 10,000 miles on that car. Max. Maybe even less than that. I don't remember what my dad paid for it, but I told everyone, if Pimp My Ride, do you guys remember that show? If Pimp My Ride was an actual, or if they did cars other than just California, my car would have been on the show. It was the definition of a beater, except mine was barely running. Like, it was seriously like, it leaked. Oh yeah, it leaked transmission fluid. It leaked oil. And now, you know what's funny is I think everyone should have one of those fucking beaters, like really bad beater cars, because it really does make you appreciate when you're in like a quality car. You know, like I had another beater car, which I'll tell that story some other time. And then I had a Volkswagen Jetta for a while, which, other than being a maintenance hog, like that thing was definitely very expensive to maintain. It was a decent car up until it got totaled. And then after that, I had a 2010 Terrain, which I did not take good care of. And then I got this car, which has been super reliable. And I have my Infiniti. So, but now it's like, honestly, looking back on the quality of that car and how long it lasted compared to like the car I'm driving now, it's amazing how far car technology has come. And also, like, you know, it's all about, are you taking care of your car? Because if you're not, it's not gonna, you know, the more you put into your car, the more it's gonna give back. So yeah, like, super fortunate to be in a reliable car now. Yeah, when I saw that car, I smiled. I'm like, that guy's obviously had that car for a while. It looked good. It's not like it. I mean, it didn't look great. It's a 30-year-old minivan, but it didn't seem like it was rusty or anything like that. So, hats off to that guy. I just want to share that story. I know it's funny. It's just, that's the first. I haven't seen one of those on the road in such a long time. And I remember my buddy, he had a 1990 Corolla, which almost got to like 300,000 miles. And in the early 2000s, you saw those cars everywhere. You know, like those late 80s, early 2000s Toyotas, those things they were on the road for a long time. You know, Toyotas were always really well made. Like, I remember my ex-girlfriend, she drove a 1989 Camry, which almost looked exactly like the Corolla. The only difference, it had a little bit more updated radio or something like that. But yeah, it's funny how long some of those cars lasted. Because I remember her car, we were dating in like 2008, 2009, and she got rid of it that year. So that was like a 20-year-old car. Man, it's funny seeing those survivors out here. You know, like, mostly if you see an older car, it's like a pickup truck. But it's nice to see a survivor. So yeah, a little bit of nostalgia. Yeah, just one of those days. All right, guys, that's all I got for this one. I want to thank you all for watching. Everyone, please stay safe, stay driven, stealthy, stay classy. I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.